What's up, guys? So today I'm going to be pulling the motor out. So last time I finished doing the core support, and between that I didn't really record me disconnecting all the stuff, but that's what I did. I just followed some guide online that I found. So you know, here's the ECU, the harness is disconnected. Disconnected the AC stuff, like the evap can right here, and like you know, these two hoses that go into the fuel pressure regulator, and then the fuel rail, which is right below that. I also took the time to go under the car and disconnect the drive shaft. So the transmission is just freely hanging right there, or it's supported by a jack stand. Also took out the shifter linkage thingy, disconnected that. So yeah, it's pretty much just ready to pull out. Last thing that's connected to, I think, if I got everything correctly, last thing connected is just the two engine mounts. And yeah, so also disconnected the, what is this, like the C101 plug. It's like for the it goes to the fuse box. So oh, and also the throttle cable, all that stuff. Disconnected all of that, so it should be pretty much ready to go. So I'm gonna do this too. So this is one of the points I'm gonna pull it by, and there's another hole like in the back somewhere near the starter. I can see it, but it's kind of hard to reach, so I'm just going to put a chain around the intake manifold. Should be strong enough because it's metal, and I've seen this other guy, M3 name is Josh, he did it like that, so I'm just gonna do it like that too, and it should be good. So yeah, I'm gonna wait for my friends to get here so they can help me. Refreshing the motor before I put it into the car. So first I'm gonna do some cooling system stuff, so like the thermostat housing, which I got right there, aluminum one, and then a water pump, a metal impeller water pump. So got one right here. This is like, it's kind of used. I actually took this off my E36 because I was doing cooling system maintenance for it, and then turns out I already had the water pump with the metal impeller, so I ended up just saving it. So now I'm going to use it for this car, but the O-ring is used, so I just got a new O-ring for that right here. Got the water pump and thermostat housing out. You can see the water in here, it's kind of brown, so I think after the engine is in the car, I'm gonna like use Thermocare or something like that to clean out the rust in the cooling system and just like flush it out and everything. So yeah, got the surfaces all cleaned up. It's still a little dirty, but you know, should be fine because I hit it with the wire brush and everything. So I'm just gonna install everything. So you can see here, I put a little bit of this water pump and thermostat housing gasket maker just around the edge, not where the O-ring is going to sit and not where the other rubber gasket is. So yeah, I don't want the gasket maker to like mess with the seal of the O-ring, so I kind of just put it on the outside. So then this will just go like right here, and then this I'm not going to use any of that gasket maker stuff. So alright, so I'm just using some of that water to make sure the O-ring just slips in smoothly and doesn't pinch. I found a free little hex bit socket. Alright, so I've just been cleaning up the whole oil filter housing with some engine degreaser and brake clean. And clean the surface. I've also cleaned it where the gasket's gonna go, so I'm just gonna install it. All right, got the valve cover off. It's got this horrible paint job that's just peeling off. And yeah, it's just making a mess. Like the red paint flakes are coming off, and like, see this one right there, inside the spark plug holes and stuff. All right, so I think I'm gonna put some like paint stripper on this, get all the old paint off, and then take it to like a car wash place to pressure wash it. And then once it's all clean, then I will paint it black. All right, so it's been sitting overnight, and got this plastic scraper right here. Now there are some spots where it didn't really come off all the way, like there was some black paint underneath, and that's still stuck, so I'll probably scrape off as much as I can and then put on some more. All right, so here's the valve cover. And after a lot of scraping and cleaning with the pressure washer, I got most of the red off. So now I'm just gonna use some high temp paint, just black, you know, keep it simple. It's like super rough, but I'm not really gonna sand it because I'm just trying to get the car running, and I don't want to spend like a million hours on all the little details. So all right, so I got the surface all cleaned with some brake clean. So now I got this RTV gasket maker. Here's the part number. Now I'm just gonna put it on these the half moons, and then I'm also gonna put it right here where this front cover for like the Vanos meets the head, and right here. Some people do all around, some people only do half moons. I'm just gonna do like this. I feel like no matter what you do, it's gonna work either way. So, all right, so got the RTV on, and I also decided to do these circle parts because I think that's what I did for my E36 last time. And then I'm also gonna do all around this valve cover because the surface is like really rough, and like I'm not really gonna be sanding it down or anything. Just to be safe, I'm gonna put on some RTV all around. All right, all done. The valve cover is installed and everything. It's all tightened down, all cleaned up. It's looking a lot better. So yeah. All right, so I'm gonna be doing the rear main seal right here, and then also the rear main cover gasket right here. Got the old one out. Use a block of wood to make sure this goes in evenly. And I'm doing it on these two to support the rear main cover because I don't want to do on the ground where the concrete would like scratch up all of this and then ruin the smooth surface. Smash my finger. Should be flush. And then the rear main seal came with this tool, so I'm just gonna put the tool into the seal like that. And then it should line up on here, and you kind of just push it on like that. Seems off though, like there's like this gap right here, but then on the bottom it's perfectly smooth. Like, let's show the side view. Oh, that's better. So I just didn't push it on all the way. It's better. It's still a little bit uneven, like there's a tiny bit that pokes out more on the top than the bottom. But I don't know. I mean, I think it should be good enough like that, so whatever. Alright, and that's the rear main seal and rear main cover gasket done. And then next I'm gonna put this back onto the engine stand and then do the oil pan gasket. Alright, got the engine back on the stand and it's upside down now, so I'm gonna ready to take the oil pan off. Alright, oil pump nut time. So, got this one with the wire that goes through it. Alright, so this is a reverse thread, so righty-loosey. I think it says 17 pound-feet of torque. That's probably about 17. The 17 isn't that much. So now we're going to put the wire on. I just clipped it and then the other side kind of fell in, so I'm gonna flip the motor to try to get it out. This is gonna be messy. Ooh, a lot of oil. So there it is, that little piece of wire, found it. I'm gonna go get a magnet tool to try to fish it out. Ooh, this is scary. Alright, finally got it. This tiny little piece of wire. I caught it with some tape on the end of a super long screwdriver. It took like 6 or 7 tries, but finally got it. It was a little stressful because like I wasn't trying to knock it down further until it could get lost and I couldn't even see it anymore. So yeah, I got super lucky. It fell into a spot that I could actually see. Alright, so got the mating surfaces cleaned here and on the oil pan there. So now I'm just going to use some of this, same as I've always been using, this like gray RTV thingy. I'm just going to use a little bit where the rear main cover meets the block, and then also the timing cover on the front. But besides that, I'm not going to use RTV anywhere else. Some people don't use any at all. I think this had none on it at all when I took it off. So I'm just going to do a little bit here just to be safe. You know, it doesn't hurt. Alright, doing knock sensors now. So here are mine. It's like all cracked and everything, so couldn't be replacing these. I already broke them loose. They are 13 mil bolt. Here are the replacements. Just got them off eBay. Didn't want to pay like what, 90 bucks for one sensor, so you know, these are like 20 bucks. Alright, so here's the old one. You can see the protecting pieces, the plastic is all broken, so it's like exposed right here, and I just double check, make sure it's the right one, because sometimes eBay parts, they just send you the wrong stuff. Yeah, it looks the same, the plugs are the same too, so it should be good. There we go, all done. Alright, new oil filter right here. New one goes in. There's like a tiny little O-ring right here for the bottom of the screw, so I'm going to replace that. New crush washer for the bolt. Almost forgot the big O-ring right here. Alright, next I'm going to be putting the E36 engine arms on. So obviously you can't use it right here for these four because the dipstick is in the way, dipstick tube. So you use these holes and everything lines up. And then I think the other hole in the block in the middle, and then the one that's on the arm, these two, they're for the metal support brackets, I guess, that support the intake manifold, I think. Alright, so before I put the engine arms on, I'm going to clean these threads because these were never used, so it's like rust and all that gunk in there. So I just have this from a metric tap and die set from Harbor Freight. It's like 20 bucks. So this is a M8. Thread pitch is 1.25. So got some WD-40. Alright, engine arm goes on. So these are just like a M8 1.25, maybe an inch long. We got these at Outdoor Supply Hardware. If you don't already have the original ones, and you buy ones from like Home Depot or like Outdoor Supply Hardware or whatever, make sure it's a bolt grade. 10.9 I think is the strongest one. Like 8.8 is weaker or something like that. Just get the strongest ones you can because you definitely don't want these breaking. Alright, so here there's supposed to be a coolant line that runs from the head to the throttle body. One of these, and that's just so that in like cold climates the throttle body won't freeze, so the the coolant keeps it warm and everything. So probably won't be needing that because I live in California. And I don't have like the hose for that, so I'm just gonna plug it. So what I did is I used this little bolt and a bit of coolant hose, and then just some hose clamps and then tighten it down. I think this might be a flywheel bolt, I think. So yeah. All right, so these are the M52 exhaust manifolds. So that means they have these EGR exhaust gas recirculation ports right here. But that's only on M52s. They don't have those on the M50s. So I think it's connected up to the secondary air pump. So M50 doesn't have that, obviously. So that's why I got these EGR block-off plates, including the gasket. So I'm just gonna plug these up. And I need to plug them up because on the back there's a little channel that connects them together. So because of that, if I just leave it, there's going to be an exhaust leak right here. And also, the exhaust manifold gaskets are different for the ones with the EGR and the ones without. So you can't really use these gaskets because there's that little gap right here, and so that's why I have these. These are the single piece gaskets. And I think these are bent for you to know which way to put them on, because this side has like these little rings around each of the holes and this side doesn't. So yep, cleaned everything as best as I could with the wire brush and some brake clean. So gaskets are going on. Alright, so since these are the OBD2 headers, there's going to be two O2 sensor ports right here. So since this is an OBD1 car, there's only going to be one O2 sensor. So I got these O2 sensor plugs. I actually ordered some O2 sensor bungs to make my custom exhaust, and it came in a pack of 2, so that's why 2 bungs and 2 plugs, so that's perfect. So I'm just gonna plug these 2. I'm gonna put a little bit of this copper gasket maker for exhausts. Let's see, here it is, ultra copper gasket maker exhaust. Just put some on the threads because I feel like without this it's not gonna seal properly like that. Alright, so these were the ones that were cross-threaded, and there's 3 of them on 1 cylinder. So there was a lot more exhaust, like residue, like the black dust and stuff I was covering here, way more on here than all the others. So I think that's probably why, because they were cross-threaded. the guy didn't use the studs. It didn't seal it properly, and that's why the exhaust gases kind of leaked through and then created all of that like residue on there. So because of that, I'm going to put a little bit of some gasket maker, more of this just around here, just in case. All right, and then I'm just gonna put a little bit of this stuff on the manifold side also, just on that first cylinder. Here are the gaskets, and here are the plates. All right, so this one, yeah, it's completely stripped. So this is the one that I couldn't repair just by retapping it. I have to do a helicoil, but I'll just do that next time the engine is out, because well, all of these are in besides one. I think it should be good, hopefully. Plus I have the exhaust gasket maker stuff, so yeah. Exhaust manifolds are on, so the engine is pretty much ready to go in the car now. So at this point, all the stuff on this side is it's not hooked up yet, because I'm gonna do that once the engine is already in the car. But yeah, that's what it looks like.